Woke up this morning, feeling the vibe, got my headphones on, ready to thrive. Voices in my ear, lifting me high, upward bound podcast, reaching for the sky. Lessons learned from the deep and wise, personal growth like a sweet surprise. Tune in, turn it up, feel the spark, igniting the fire, lighting the dark.
Welcome to the Upward Bound podcast, where real conversations lead to real growth.
We're here to help you level up your life, your leadership, and your future.
With practical insights, honest conversations, and tools that you can actually start applying today.
I'm Ernie the Kumos.
I'm Jeff Williamson.
And I'm Len McIntosh, and this is... Everybody say the Upward Bound
podcast.
Come on, let's go.
Tell somebody.
Yes. And if you've been feeling stuck, ready for more, or know you're capable of your next level,
you're in the right place. So let's get right to it. So today we're actually going to be speaking on high road leadership. And this is one of John Maxwell's great books that he's just released. I don't know, about a couple of years ago. Yeah, there it is. Little backdrop
plug.
There, but yeah,
Vanna
White. Yes. Do you know that actually Vanna White lives like 2 cities away from me?
Look out! Come on, man.
Really?
I've never seen her, but I'm told she's there. But back to the book, back to the podcaster.
Yes.
Let me ask you guys something here. You know, have you ever had that moment where you knew the right thing to do, but everything that you wanted to do was the opposite? And you know, I don't want to talk about driving, you know, for me specifically here, because I know that can come out sometimes here. I'm like, man, just let that person in, I guess, you know, just be kind, just be better, right? Maybe it's in your marriage, maybe it's at work, maybe it's with your kids. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be, you know, that it seems like it's a roadblock sometimes, and they just kind of get right there, and you're like, man, I need to show up better. I do. But what usually wins in those moments? Is it our emotions, or is it our values? You know, and I guess that's where leadership really begins. It's not in the big stages, but it's in those small, unseen decisions.
Yeah. To me, I can start very small in that aspect, Jeff, because that is every day. And the scenario that I can think of, and I love that you said about driving, because a lot of times when people cut me on the road, I just think, oh, they probably need to use the restroom really bad. So that's right. That's right.
But I'll tell you what, I had someone that cut me off. And, you know, usually people respond with, you know, fingers or whatever. I just waved and I'm like, hey, how's it going? You know, I'm not gonna fuel that fire. I'm just gonna let them go.
Yes. And in my life, it's more so of that snooze button. The moment that the alarm goes off in the morning, it's like, you know what you need to do. You need to turn off that alarm and get up. But what happens? Right? Sometimes we hit that snooze button. Yeah, and I love what you said. That's where leadership really begins. It's not when leading other people. It starts with us on how we do when no one's watching.
Yeah. Come on. You know, I know me, like years ago, the unfriend button, the block button, all those used to be my friends, right? And so more recently, I had a situation where somebody just like accused my character and did some things that were just, you know, not so bueno, right? And so everything in me, you know, wanted to go low road. And can I come to the table of truth with my friends here?
Let's do it.
Yes.
I did a little bit low road, because, you know, low road is like, hey, you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you back, you know. And so there's that verbal exchange that happened. And so and you know, obviously that's counterproductive to who I'm trying to be as a high road leader. So
that's I feel that too here, you know. And it seems like it's been one of those new things on the scene a few years ago, like even maybe up to 5 years, but like the whole ghosting.
Yes.
I don't want to respond to this person. They're not, they're not doing what I need them to do in this moment here. So I'm just going to ignore it. Like act like they don't even exist. Act like the request, the email, the text, whatever, it just didn't even happen. I know that can happen for sure.
It does. I do believe in that too. I was one of those people who has been ghosted, and that doesn't feel good either. So it goes both ways, right?
Yeah, good there. Yeah. And so, the book, kind of walks us through the best responses for that. And like the book that we've been working through, because it's very practical on how we can rise above just, what everybody else is doing and be better for the world. Because, the song "What the World Needs Now" is love, sweet love. It's the only.
Come on, sing some. Yeah. Let's hear it.
I want to see this. Go, Len.
The book has been very helpful in kind of really coming to the table of truth. So
yeah, that's good.
So one of the
go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things that we also want to say, Len mentioned it. So low road, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so easy to take the low road? And do you think that most people plan to act poorly, just like people who just cuts us off on the road, or does it just happen?
Yeah, I read this book here, and it talks about this guy where, he moved to a new country. I think he was like from Poland. He moved to Italy. So he completely immersed himself in, Italian. But after 5 years, he was in this culture. He was hanging a picture up in his wall, and he hit his hand on with a hammer from trying to hang up a picture. So he missed a nail, hit his thumb, but yet he swore, he cussed in Polish. It's like he went back to his default mechanism. He went back to that learned behavior, or even kind of what he had there, where it can be challenging to stay in that Italian or that high road leadership, mentality. But, even in this case here, it's like, I know we all can follow. I follow all the time.
Yeah. And as we look at like our world, right? Like the political sphere, or any sphere you want to refer to, there's just a bunch of mudslinging and we don't see good models of what leadership looks like. You go to presidential debates or different things, people are just slinging mud back and forth. And you say this to me, I'm going to hit you lower. And
that's right.
And that's the examples of leadership that are in front of us so often.
Yeah.
That results, in my own opinion, to confusion, and especially to our young leaders or uprising leaders today. It's so hard to really be the best leader there is, because we have no model of that leadership. Before we continue with our content, I wanted to educate our listeners. This is a live podcast. And when we say live, for those who are watching live, not watching the replay, you can actually comment on YouTube. You can comment on Facebook. You can comment on social media where this is streaming. And guess what? We will read it, and you can also ask questions, and we can answer it in real time. And with that being said, I would like to ask the next question.
Okay.
In this scenario, gents, do you think that who we are becoming when it comes to leading is important to look at? So it's easy to say, okay, I am a leader. And what we're doing when we're leading is more so of, okay, we're managing people, we're doing the numbers. But do we ever stop and say, okay, who am I becoming as somebody who's leading somebody, or as someone who's leading myself?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you can't see it, but on my board right here, I have what's listed. I wish to be the one who, and it's the idea. I know, people talk about legacy, and they talk about, who, all these different things, as we, go through life here. but I have a few things on there. And it's like, I want to be someone that's authentic, somebody that's intentional, relational, that is legacy minded. So it's where I'm in the car and somebody cuts me off. Am I in that space? Am I going to be like, are these things, is my behavior reflective of who I want to be known as? So you kind of start with the end in mind. And if I look at, who I'm being as a person, I look at my calendar and see if the things, my activities are not representative of, those things, then I better make some changes.
Yeah. It's important, Jeff. I really like what you said about that. You know what I've realized over these years, that I don't know what I don't know, right? Blind spots that happen. There's behaviors, there's norms where I think that I'm being good in an area. And let's be honest. I mean, we don't often like to receive the feedback that we're not doing a good job.
That's fair.
Especially if as we've grown up or in our lives, if people have been critical about us or have been dismissive towards us, that we don't want to, all of us go out to do a great job, I think, at the end of the day. And so it's like, but I think reframing, that feedback, because those blind spots are actually there, and the feedback that you receive are actually there to make you a better person and make you grow. And so not to tear you down, but listen, that we could all get better. And it's so important as we look at high road leaders. High road leaders are able to put it on the table and be in a collaborative mindset where we can get together with the people that we lead and walk together and grow together, because growth is not a destination. We're constantly growing. We're constantly evolving. So that's where, it's a journey. So
that's
and
good.
I wanted to add to that, as who you become as you thread that journey is really important. It's more, a lot of us would say, well, I'm not there yet. But the journey shows that you're improving, you're growing. You are not the same person as you were when you started. And I wanted to, I love this. When you call people to make comments, they do so. And these are great coachable people. So I would like to acknowledge Crossroads Overcomer. He said, y'all are nailing it. Or she said, thank you so much for the comment. And Ruben said, that's true. So, agreeing to what Len said, thank you so much for those comments. And I believe Mr. Jeff Williamson has another thing that he wants to talk about.
Well, and before I do, it's one of those things where when you were saying that we're getting that negative feedback and all this kind of thing, I'll just say this. How I was raised in a great household. Things were always very positive. My parents were fantastic parents. But what's funny though, and I think my dad might be watching now, but it was one of those things though where I only understood what it was to hear the good. So I was in a space where, if from a love languages, I'm a words of affirmation times 10. It's off the chains here. So that's how I understand things. That's how I take, just feedback. It's like I need to hear that I'm at least doing something in the right way. So that feedback then for me, it's like, oh my gosh, it can be so tough to receive. And that's something I'm working on. I'm like, Len and I had a conversation about this even this past week where he encouraged me. He says, listen, there's some great feedback that this other guy was talking about here. And it's one of those things that, he's got a good heart, he's all these different things. Take it in, listen to what he has to say, so we can apply this and get better in different aspects of our life. So really appreciated that there. Because how we receive feedback, how we, gain that information, it's really important to really pay attention to that. So that's good.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff, so let me ask you a question, man.
Yeah.
Can we go off script for a minute?
Do it, man.
Yes, and I will go off script too, because there's a question on the comments.
Okay. Perfect. But
go ahead first.
Does the level of relationship impact how that feedback is received? I mean, is that important that you know the heart of the person, or is there raw feedback? Because listen, I mean, let's just be real. we've decided to go on this endeavor of adding value to people here via the. So we've exposed, like, we're out live on the internet right now, and we're going to get lots of feedback.
That's right.
So does someone necessarily have to have a relationship with you to give feedback, or do we just discount it right away?
I think it's important on who the person is. In a sense, like, and I say the person, like the receiver. So for me, I need to have and just know that there's a relationship. I need to know their heart, and I need to know that, because I'm one that will say, hey, Len, or Ernie, is it okay if I share some feedback with you? I want to gain permission first. And I know most people won't do that because, not to say it's high road versus low road or anything in between, but I know how I can, it's again, that emotion side that can jump in for Jeff. But to your point, to your question here, and Ernie, I want to hear what you have to say too, but it's easier for me if I have that relationship. It's not, one of my other friends mentioned that sometimes even unsolicited feedback from people that don't agree with you is also good and strong.
Right. Yeah.
And I need to get so much better at that. But I'm still a work in progress. But for me personally, if I have a little bit of a relationship, it's easier for sure. What do you think, Ernie?
Yeah. And Ernie, before you answer real quick, can you also answer, like, how do you feel culture plays into
that's good
feedback, like family of origin type things? Because obviously, that does have a play. Would you say, Ernie?
It does play. So being a Filipino, we are actually, that's exactly what I was gonna say. The High Road Leadership book itself, I'm going to be very transparent. This book challenges me to become not just a better leader, but also a better person. A lot of times we're talking about knowing what we need to do, but doing the opposites, or, who we are becoming. But whenever the scenario hits, all we want to do is like fix the problem, fix the person even. But I love what you both are saying. Relationship has to take place. We need to know that the individual will welcome the feedback itself. In my culture, feedback is not always welcome. I know you can relate to this, Len, because your wife is a Filipina.
Absolutely. You look fat. It's just that's how it is, right? It's like, hey, they just grab your arm, like, hey, you got a little fat,
Yes. So asking for permission, permission is very important, and seeing a person as a 10 instead of seeing what they're doing wrong is tough in itself. Like when you see a friend who's always sticking with this relationship that they hate so much, they complain about, you just want to fix them and say, why are you still in this relationship? But instead of doing that, seeing them as someone who has full potential and knowing that, despite of all the things that they're going through, they have something to offer. So those are the things that we have to remember when leading people.
Yeah.
Now, segueing it to the question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what a good segue.
What a great segue.
Of course, I got it. So Drew asked, question for the terrific trio. Who was your favorite mentor that made you want to become a leader?
That's good. Yeah. Well, there's a guy named Tony McMath that we all know and love.
Yes, sir.
I've got to sit under his tutelage for the last 30 years. And so just modeling that. I mean, obviously my dad earlier, but definitely, Tony McMath more recently. But I don't want to steal the thunder. You guys, what about you? What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I wrote about so in my first book that I wrote, Still Marinating, I gave acknowledgments at the front of the book there, and it's with Good to Great here with Jim Collins. He talks about the level 5 leaders. So those people in my life, and one of them I'll say is Dennis Russ. He was somebody that in North Carolina, and he was was a farm kid, and he a lot of y'all, thick accents, things like that. But he has a way of taking, something that's super, super complex and making it sound super simple. He could communicate, and he could just have this way where, the more he spoke, the more people listened. and just really, it just touched a lot of people. So that's one of the people that, when I wrote that book, I'm like, man, I need to just say thank you because I wrote this book is because of people like you. So yeah, that's mine. How about you, Ernie?
Mine, I was gonna make fun of this, but I was gonna say me, but that's not true.
Come on now.
Yeah.
That's not
I would
true.
like to thank me.
I would like to thank me for all the efforts.
That's right.
Everyone that did not see it. It feels good to do that, but not all of us does that. Not recognizing the efforts, not recognizing the pivotal moments that actually made us say, you know what, enough is enough. I am done being the person who just reacts on negative comments, reacts on negative actions toward me. But sometimes book like The High Road Leadership, I know all three of us had talked about the content. We've run through the message that we wanted to deliver, but with everything that's going on, sometimes reflection has to take place. Who do we model? Who do we model as the leader that we want to be? And for me, that's Papa John. And I'm not saying that because he's our mentor. I'm saying that because he's the person who made me look at my leadership. And history-wise, I just joined the Maxwell Leadership for a fact that I wanted to learn about speaking. But since his content has leadership in it, it just changed my perspective. But I wanted to also recognize two comments. There's a comment on Facebook, and I love this because Michael said, create the good based on what it will make of you to achieve it.
That's good.
Create the good based on what it will make of you to achieve it, based on what you will become to achieve it. And Ruben also said, regarding our conversation about advice earlier, also the receiver needs to guard themselves from the spirit of offense too.
Come on.
Mic drop.
That's it. So powerful. Yeah.
So go ahead, buddy.
I was gonna say, I mean, that is good that you can't, I mean, because every day there's going to be opportunities to see an offense happen. Every day there's opportunities to take your toys from the playground and go. But it's like, listen, the high road leader has to think beyond. What I like to say is not counted to the heart, counted to the head. If things come across in a way that maybe are not packaged in the best way, maybe don't land in the best way, that I gotta know, like, hey, that at the end of the day, they're not trying to intentionally hurt me, but they're trying to, share something. And so I gotta kind of eat the chicken and leave the bone there.
Oh, man.
I love that analogy.
I learned so much. But I mean, that's good.
Processing.
I'm going to try and transition, but because I'm a chicken eater myself here, but
hey, that wasn't on script, guys.
I mean, I'm here for it. But I mean, to that point though, when we can kind of have that moment of that trigger, right? That trigger that we how we want to respond, all these different things here. But like, if we can have some separation from that trigger with an actual response, I mean, I guess let me ask you guys a question. Think about the last time that somebody frustrated you. Hopefully it wasn't
every day.
I mean, yeah, but like, what did you want to say versus what did you actually say? Ooh. Right? And what would it look like to create just a little space at that moment?
All right, I'm gonna let you have this one because you're a little bit more mature than I am. I'm still growing, Ernie.
Let me see. Maybe like a half year older than you on this, Len.
Yeah.
When you're leading, there's obviously different personalities. They have their own opinions. They have their own experiences and knowledge. And when you have confrontations, not even confrontations, difficult conversations, sometimes professionalism, reasoning leaves the door, and unfortunately somebody will just go off on you, right? remembering you're in a professional place. And on those moments, I wanted to say bye, Felicia, but I can't.
Hey, for real.
Peace out, right?
Yeah.
This is real life. To those leaders who are leading, it's true. These are the things that we don't talk about. Sometimes you just want to fire the person and then leave. But is that really serving the individual? Is that really leading? It is not.
I know
but the first step.
Go ahead.
But the first step is recognizing, okay, yes.
Yeah.
I am frustrated, but at the end of the day, how can I de-escalate the scenario? How can I respond properly?
Well, I know that I turned 50 in July, and to that point, I know. Come on now,
achievement.
I'm still kicking. Let's go. But the older I get, the younger the people I work with are, right?
Yes.
And it's just the understanding that, even with my high affirmation, love languages and all the things here, and how even collective people in my generation may respond in situations, that trigger versus that response. I have people that are, just out of their teens into their young 20s that I work with. And it's something where, like I said, the older I get, the younger my team is. And I need to slow down. I need to recognize, where's the root here? Where is, where's the actual point of this conversation going here? How can I add value to you? And a lot of times it's because I'm not communicating well in a way that's going to add value to them. Like you had said, listen, I want to make sure I'm putting a 10 on their heads. And that means sometimes that I need to change my way here and not have that, what I actually wanted to say versus what I wanted to say versus what I actually did say. I need to have a little bit of more, I guess, just self-awareness in those moments so I can make sure I'm communicating well to people and not reacting in such a way that's going to, build a bridge or build a wall, rather. I want to build that bridge.
Yes. Good. And I think there is a comment, Mr. Len McIntosh.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing that with us?
Let's see. Work right now. Pull up cruise there. Actually, let's get back to that one. It's not coming out.
I think they're saying that they're going to get back to it here. So
we'll get back to it. But But
okay.
In closing, as we put a bow on this, we know we come from a place where we haven't arrived, right?
That's right.
The advice that we're giving you is something that we walk through every day. We don't, supposed to be subject matter experts per se, but we decided to start this podcast just to get on the journey with you. We know that change happens in the context of community. We know that everyone needs a partner to their destiny. And so that's why we're here. I mean, if you want to answer the why of the Upward Bound podcast, that's why. Like, listen,
that's right.
Can we grow together? Can we learn together? Can we get better together? Because the change starts with just one person can be the change in their family. One person can be the change in their community. One person can be the change in their city and the nation. And it just begins to cascade and it starts the ripple effect. And so I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Y'all know I get passionate about this.
The pastor's coming out.
Yeah, come on now. And so we just want to let you know that we believe in you and we want to partner with you. And if you need help, listen, call us, contact us.
Reach out. Yeah.
Reach out and touch. Because we just want to be there we know that we are people of value that add value to people.
That's right.
Come on, Ernie. Bring it home.
Yes. I love that. We are not subject matter experts. We're here to grow with you. And we challenge you that if this episode helped you, don't just listen, use it.
Yeah. Just take one idea and act on it this week. Application. Share this with somebody who needs it. Hit that subscribe button and keep leveling up.
And as I told you before, we're here for you. We want to partner with you. We want to help you get to that next space together. So our contact information is below. Get with us. Come on, let's walk this thing out and be the catalyst for changing the world, one life at a time.
Woke up this morning, feeling the vibe, got my headphones on, ready to thrive. Voices in my ear, lifting me high, upward bound, put tasks, reaching for the sky.